Hi, we're here at Ramset on Stage in Annapolis, Maryland with Damon Fowler. Thanks for sitting down with us, Damon.
Thanks for having me.
So your third Blind Pig release has just come out, Sounds of Home, and it was produced by Tab Benoit, correct?
Yes, it was.
At his Whiskey Bayou Studios in Houma, Louisiana?
Houma, Louisiana.
So how did that come about with Tab doing the producing?
Well, I've known Tab for a long time. I grew up in Florida, and he would play festivals there quite a lot. And he'd come out and jam with us after the festivals because I was playing a lot of bars and stuff. And basically, we've been friends for a long time. I've been touring a lot more the last few years. And, our paths would cross, And I have another project called Southern Hospitality. It's with Victor Wainwright and J.P. Soares.
Yes.
And he produced our first record. It's called Easy Living. And I enjoyed the experience. I thought, I really like the way he works. I like his taste in music and his approach. So when it came time to do this record, I was like, man, I think it would be a very comfortable experience for my band to go on and do it. So that's what we did.
So listening to the CD, it has that sparse yet deep, clean and clear sound that Tab is kind of known for. So how much influence did he have on you getting that sound? And did he play on the recording?
Yeah, he played. He sang some. He played some pedal steel. He played a little bit of acoustic guitar stuff. When I took the songs to him, what I learned with doing Southern Hospitality, working with Tab, was that it's better to bring like just the skeleton to him as far as working with him. That's what you like if you're going to work with a producer. You want to have a connection somehow. And I found that through Southern Hospitality, the stuff that I enjoyed the most were songs that we all kind of collaborated on and Tab was involved with. So when we came to him with this idea in mind for the record, the material I brought was very, it wasn't finished. It was songs like, they had skeletons, we had ideas for songs and stuff, but we weren't sold on just one way of doing it. We were willing to try other ways and that kind of stuff, So that's what we did.
All right. You've been described by different media sources as a Gulf Coast guitarist and lap steel maestro, playing a swampy mix of blues, bayou R&B, country, rockabilly, sacred steel, and swing. That's saying a lot. But I was curious, what is sacred steel? What do they mean?
I was going to address that because I don't play sacred steel. I love sacred steel, and I'm a big fan of a lot of the guys that actually play sacred steel. But I can't say what I do is sacred steel. It's very much, you're kind of raised in the church, and you're part of this musical thing in the church that goes on your whole life. I have some influence from that, but I play lap steel, so sometimes people confuse that.
So I'm sorry. Well, what's the difference between lap steel and slide guitar in terms of how you play it and how it sounds?
Well, slide guitar is played, of course, with a slide. And I play lap steel with a slide. Lap steel you play on your lap. And you can't really fret any instruments, I guess you could if you had a fretted lap steel maybe, but it's all just straight steel. To where with guitar, when you play slide guitar, you can fret like you have your slide going, and you can kind of fret behind there to make other chord tones, stuff like that.
All right, but the basic feel is a very similar type of sound?
Yeah, I would say it is. For me, when I was learning how to play slide, I would watch somebody that was really good at slide, and then I would go home and kind of be like, well, this kind of looks like what they were doing, and it just didn't work, and I was like, I don't understand. And I stumbled into open tuning, and I just started tuning to an open E, and that's where I was like, oh wow, it seems a whole lot easier this way. But then now there's people that play just in your regular tuning too. They're amazing. I can't do that though.
Okay. You mentioned Southern Hospitality. So you spent much of the past year, I think, touring with the Southern Hospitality to some pretty good reviews.
We sure did. We had a great year. It was awesome.
And once again, that band is Victor Wainwright on keyboards and vocals, and J.P. Soares
on
guitar and vocals.
Yep.
Chuck Riley and Chris Pete on bass and drums.
That's right.
Sort of a rock and blues supergroup of sorts. But I was curious. Most of these guys, like Victor and J.P., all of you are pretty blues based.
Mm-hmm.
But the CD doesn't really sound like anything like a blues recording. So, you know, and people refer to it as a southern roots rock kind of a record. But I don't know, how do you describe what came out of those sessions?
Well, when we did the record, you know, we weren't really trying to make a blues record. You know, and the umbrella of blues stretches so far now, it does get a little mixed up, you know. But everything that we all play has influences of blues in it, you know, and I think a lot of these things that kind of grow from there. But, you know, Victor's very, like, honky-tonk piano, like Jerry Lee Lewis and boogie-woogie style piano, Memphis style. JP is a great, you know, jump swing guitar player, blues player. He plays the cigar box, you know, and then I play some lap steel and I play some guitar, write songs and stuff. And so when we all did that together, you know, all the influences that came out, it wasn't all blues. You know, there was many other influences, but we were just trying to make a good record.
So, being involved in that project, did that give you a lot more national exposure for yourself?
It sure did. Yeah. I think it's helped all of us. You know, we talk about it all the time. It's something that, you know, and the way the band came together was really like an organic way to come together. We didn't like sit down with a plan or anything at first. You know, we kind of stumbled into a couple of gigs together and we were like, wow, this is really cool. And the gigs just started happening. We're like, oh, wow, neat, you know. So it was really very fun for us. It still is.
Great,
you know?
Great. Going back to your new CD, Sounds of Home, you do Johnny Winter's TV Mama, a song you've been performing for many years, I think, right?
Yep.
Not to be confused with the Elmore James song of the same name.
Exactly.
And tonight you're opening for Johnny Winter. Have you played on the same bill with him before? Or have you worked with Johnny before?
I have, many times.
And you've played together?
Never actually got to play with Johnny.
Okay.
But we've opened for him many times. I got to hang out with him and stuff. Yeah, Johnny's great.
So some other people that you've actually had a chance to perform with. I read somewhere that you had done some work with Buddy Guy, Robin Trower, Greg Allman. When did all that happen?
Yeah, well, I live in Florida, and I grew up in Florida, so, you know, we've played with Buddy Guy a handful of times through little tours in Florida. We played with Greg Allman a couple of times in South Carolina, and Jacksonville, and Tampa, and Sarasota, and what were the other ones?
I saw a mention of Robin Trower.
Yeah, we did a tour with Robin Trower. We did a Southeast tour. You know, one of the coolest tours we did, we got to go on tour with Johnny Winter. We did Dallas and Houston. And the last night, we got to go to New Orleans, and we played the House of Blues in New Orleans with Johnny. And then we got to hang out with Johnny Winter at the end. And this it was like a private VIP tent. And it was really awesome. It was like really cool.
Sounds very cool. Can you tell me about your band that you're playing with tonight?
Well, Chuck Riley, the bass player in Southern Hospitality, is playing bass in this band. Chuck and I have been playing music together for many years, probably 12 years. James McKnight is our drummer. We call him Big Country. He's been on 2 of our records. He was on my last Blind Pig release, which is Devil Got His Way. And he's on Sounds at Home. He's been touring with us for a long time. He's a good friend of ours.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, we're really looking forward to tonight's show, and thanks for sitting down and talking to us.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to do it.
All right, thank you. Cool.